Hi folks, this is Jason. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. We're going to be talking about the insanity of atheism. Now I've got to just make a confession that sort of down on the ground when I go street preaching, generally speaking, when I meet an atheist, I have respect for the atheist, okay? Ordinary, average atheist, I have respect. The new atheism that's around today, I don't have any respect for. I'm sorry, because I think it's so aggressive and so anti-Christian in the sense of being so aggressive and trying to manipulate, caricature and knock out Christianity out of our democracies. I have no respect for that, because I feel that whether you're an atheist or Christian, you should learn to get on with each other. And I'm happy to be with atheists who want to get on, but I'm not happy to be with atheists who are these new atheists like Sam Harris and Dawkins, etc., who are aggressive and are saying things that are on the verge of totalitarianism in their intellectual outlook, as far as I'm concerned. So what I'm about to say is really going to be quite shocking. And it is a knockout blow against atheism. But it has to be said, even though it's quite shocking. The atheists love to pick the verses in the Bible, and they love to pick out the bits like the war with the Canaanites and the slaughter of the Canaanites, and they'll pick those bits out. And then they accuse Christians of picking and choosing in the Bible. But there are texts in Leviticus and in the Bible about sex with animals is an abomination. And it wasn't long ago, before Hitchens died, that he was asked in a debate about did he think sex with animals is okay. And it was interesting, he never condemned it or accepted it. He was kind of in the middle, as if to say, well, you know, if science says that an animal doesn't have pain in such a situation, then it would be okay. Now that's the insanity of atheism for you, is that I'm not saying that some atheists or atheists would advocate this, but what I'm saying is, as an atheist, there is no real reason to say no to such a thing. Because if science was to say, from your position, that animals are not hurt when human beings have sex with them, then from your position that would be okay. And that's the insanity of atheism, where it gets you. That you could even contemplate the possibility that sex with animals is a possibility shows that atheism just cannot be right. It cannot be the way to go. And no thinking man or thinking woman can really, in all honesty, advocate a position of atheism if you, as an atheist, realize that your position leads to the possibility of sex with animals. Shows how crazy atheism is. And there's no way around it, there's no way of getting out of it. You know, if you follow your position, and your position is, let's use scientific method for morality, and the idea that we can assess whether someone is having pain in an objective way, and if they're not having pain, then it's a good thing to do, kind of objective morality from science situation. If you applied that to animals, then in all possibility it could be found that, scientifically speaking, animals don't have any pain. If humans engage in sex with them, and you're in a situation where you can do anything morally, unethically, and get away with it. But that you would have to go to science to tell you that that kind of action was wrong shows you how atheism has no real intellectual credibility. On ethics, it has not got a leg to stand on. And that's what I would call the insanity of atheism. That's not to say that there aren't some atheists out there who are good atheists. I'm sure there are good atheists. I've met one or two, and it's not to disparage on the ground ordinary atheist, but one has to be brutal in our honesty. One has to face the honest intellectual questions, and you have to face it as an atheist. You have to face it head on, and it's no good ignoring the argument or the issue. Your position allows moral inconsistency of the deepest and darkest colour. Okay? So I'll leave you with that, atheist. And everybody out there, remember that issue. That is the death of atheism, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I'll never ever be running to atheism. Because if you're an atheist, everything is permissible, believe it or not. Everything is permissible. There is no justification or reason, really, ultimately, why not to be evil in an atheist system. In the end, an appeal to science does not mean you can justify good or evil. It still just leaves the door open for people to do whatever they want to do, really, ultimately. Because science can be used and twisted to suit whichever group wants to use it for their own moral, political, ethical, economic, and whatever other means. Alright? Thank you for listening, and God bless you.